So I went in for a consultation. I'm going to get, like, they call it a hair system. It's to make us feel better. It's basically a wig.
Amazing.
Women call it hair extensions. And like, I'm nervous as hell. Like, because I don't know what I look like with hair.
You're a different breed.
Just a few years of my life, I want to know what it was like to have before I die. Like what it was like to have hair.
I want to know what it's like to be an NBA superstar, but I don't get that opportunity.
I get the opportunity.
Some things we're not blessed with.
Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. Volkswagen has long been a supporter of soccer in America and has proudly been a partner of U.S. Soccer for over 5 years.
LD, my God, what's happening? Welcoming everybody to Unfiltered Soccer. I'm Tim, he's Landon. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
This could be a long intro. I went to the Ryder Cup on Friday. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
I enjoyed
God.
it. I had
about this.
one or two, what is the golf drink? Transfusions?
Yeah, I've never had one, but
Yeah, they were good.
Guys get that.
I had hospitality. Shout out to Wasserman, our agency, for connecting me and having red carpet and all the fun stuff. And I walked the course.
I didn't get that invite, by the way.
You didn't. But I walked the course. It was fun. I went with Robbie Muster, my colleague. What do you like about golf? Because I didn't enjoy that.
You didn't like that?
It was okay.
You just
I saw some good shots.
You
We were
don't
on the
appreciate
fifth.
sports, dude.
I love sports.
If you've ever held a golf club and tried to hit a golf ball and you watch what they do,
yeah,
it's insane.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They're amazing. I don't want to hold a golf club and hit a golf club because I stink.
All right. I don't want to dive too deep into this, but for people so the last day, they play all the singles matches, this tournament. So the last European guy, Victor Hovland, couldn't play because he hurt his neck. So the resulting conclusion to that is Europe gets to split that match so that each team gets half a point. And I'm thinking to myself, who the hell made this rule up? Where if you don't play, you still get half a point.
Right.
How's that possible?
Yeah,
in any sport, like in tennis.
Yeah.
I can't play. I hurt my hand. Okay, we'll just say it was a draw and like nobody advances. Or both advance. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, I agree. But also,
can
we end this by saying, from two guys who've taken a lot of stick over the years, shout out to Rory McIlroy, because the U.S. got their butt kicked, and the gallery was giving him all sorts. You know, he gave it right back.
Did he?
And that's how it goes.
That's what you do when you go back to Everton.
Well, I do.
Give it to you, just give it right back.
I love the thing about, well, you're the athlete, take the high road. Nah, bro. Some of the things that get said to us, you're getting
when they go low, we go lower.
You're getting it back. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
As always, follow on social media, subscribe, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast. Leave us comments. I want to hear comments. So I posted something actually just before the show, Tim. I told you guys this. So I tried the hair transplant thing. Didn't work. Yeah. I could shave my head. I don't want to do it. I'm just not. I know, but you have a nice
bald
head.
is sexy.
Like, my head is ugly, and like it's just ugly. Okay. It wouldn't look right on me. So I went in for a consultation. I'm gonna get, like, they call it a hair system. It's to
this
make
is
us feel
amazing.
better.
For everybody who's listening, this is amazing.
Okay.
Keep going.
So it's called a hair system. I know we soften language. It's basically a wig.
Amazing.
Women call it hair extensions. But I'm going to go in on Wednesday and get it. Like, they put this adhesive on and then they put it on. And like, I'm nervous as hell. Like, because I don't know what I look like with hair since I was 18. I have no idea.
Wait a minute.
No idea.
We've gone so off key.
I know. But,
wait, no, it's good. Wait, so adhesive. So you have to put that on every day?
No, it's like every 2, 3, 4 weeks you go back in and they like take it off, put a new one on, because the hair will start. It's real hair, and the hair starts to die.
You can shower?
You can shower, everything. Go in the pool, yeah. You can literally like pull it, yank it, and it won't come off.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna if they let me, I'm gonna video it and take pictures so you can see the process.
Bro, you're a different breed.
I just want for like just a few years of my life, I want to know what it was like to have before I die. Like what it was like to have hair.
I want to know what it's like to be an NBA superstar, but I don't get that opportunity. I
get the opportunity.
Some things we're not blessed with.
I get it. So when like women get like hair extensions and all this stuff, like it's fine. Why can't I? So my question is, and I asked you guys, and you guys had the worst suggestions.
Our production group.
What hairstyle should I do? Because now I could do whatever I want. I mean, literally, I could do whatever. So I just want to know what people think. What hairstyle?
This is great. I mean, come steaming in over the top with haymakers.
I mean, don't give the stupid. I'm gonna get the dumbest comment, like mullet and like all that. Like, no, like what real hairstyle should I get?
I mean, welcome to the Cool Kids Club. Finally, you'll be a part of the club. All right, let's go.
All right, let's move on. Whatever. Okay, jump right in. USMNT on USLNT. Lots and lots of stuff going on this weekend. The first interesting one was Tyler Adams at Leeds. They drew 1-1. Is that right?
Yeah. I think
Every time he touched the ball, the crowd booed him, which actually surprised me. I was like, oh, because I didn't go into the deep details when he left, but it was really interesting. So that was his first return to Ellen Road. And then after the game, at the time, Leeds chief exec Angus Kinnear, he said this about Tyler's departure. He said, there are players who had the discussions when it was time to leave because they got relegated. So some players stay, some players leave. There are players who had the discussions and did the right things and did them in a timely manner. Then there were players who were perhaps led by their agents to employ tactics, which will mean they're not on our Christmas card list. And he was referring to Tyler Adams and Luis Sinisterra in particular. So I think, we've talked about this with the Isak thing and like, what's the proper way to leave a club? And what's your take on all this? Because I have a very strong take on this too.
Yeah. Well, listen, I tell you who doesn't care about this, Tyler Adams. Because he's a boss.
Couldn't care less.
He's a boss. And by the way, as a former Manchester United player, the Leeds Ellen Road faithful are, in short, interesting. Let's say that. Look, a chief exec has a job to do. Angus Kinnear has a job to do. If you're Tyler Adams and or Sinisterra, and your team gets relegated, and you have an opportunity to play in the Premier League, you play in the Premier League. Like, I don't know what promises were made behind the scenes, and also that's normal. That's how it goes. I don't expect players. I don't like when players down tools like Isak did over the summer, but that's kind of the way this is moving on the business side. I would imagine, knowing Tyler Adams, he did things in the right way. It's kind of a he said, she said situation for me.
My thing is Crimea River, Angus. There are so many examples, Tim, of these clubs being ruthless with players and couldn't care less about the player, their family, that they have to move, they cut their salary. They couldn't care less. And so the player decides, look, I'm going to do what's best for me because you're going to screw me over anyway. So the only exception to that is if that club has earned your trust over lots of time, like you would have never done that to Everton. I would have never done that at the end to the Galaxy. We would have gone in, had real conversations, and just said, look, and actually in 2013, I was not happy with how the negotiation was going with the Galaxy. And I said, look, guys, I don't want to leave here, but I will for the next couple of years. And we're either going to get this done or not. But it was not like go employ some tactics and go in the media and do this. It's like, let's just have, now if they've earned your respect, you do that. But for Tyler Adams, what does he care? He needs to do what's best for him. So
it's a good point. When I was after 9.5 years, I remember Christmas going into Roberto Martinez's office and saying, Gaffer, this is my club, obviously, but I need to leave. I need to go home. I need to be closer. And he said, sure. And then he dropped my ass the next week, and that was it. But I understood. I understood that.
You get it? Yeah.
I couldn't tell him, Gaffer, I want to leave, even though I was more loyal to Everton than anything in the world. I couldn't give him that information, and then him go, okay, yeah, amazing, and he had to then go, okay,
yeah, it's fine.
I'll grant your wish, but then go sit over there. So,
fair enough. So get over it, Angus. Brenden Aaronson made his third straight start, which was great.
Yep.
He came off in the 87th minute. Seems like the crowd and the fans are liking his energy, his effort, which is good because it was a little bit of a change from the past. So that was good. Whether he's in the national team picture still, we'll see.
I think it helps if he's starting consistently
in the Premier League. So we'll see how that goes. And obviously with camp coming up now, as we've been told, this is going to be the first real team, and this is the team that's going to be mostly together going forward. So we'll see. Gio Reyna was not in the Gladbach's squad. He has a thigh injury. What I was thinking about this morning, Tim, And this is falling into a little bit of Ricardo Pepi. He got subbed off in the first half with an injury. Ricardo Pepi's further along on the totem pole in the pecking order than Gio is. But these guys are becoming what I would say is unreliable. And whether it's through performance or mostly through injury or both in Gio's case, if you're a coach, like, you just need to know what you're getting.
Yeah,
and these guys are becoming unreliable. And so it's hard for me to imagine them continuing to get called in, or in Ricardo's case, starting games if he's not reliable in that way.
Look, this is not an indictment on Ricardo Pepi or Gio Reyna, both players who I really like. You know this because you and I played together for a very long time. I think the NFL started this saying, like, your best ability is your availability. And what I would say, and you know that the same people that I do at Everton, and it got to the point, and by the way, I'm not saying this because I'm Superman, but the availability part was always like right here, was always at the forefront. So there wasn't yes, I had a high pain tolerance, right? And so some people are just unlucky with injuries. I get that. But there was a part of me, and our physio, I would just, there's got to be something in that bag, that physio bag. There's got to be something in that medicine cabinet. Give it to me. Get me through this 90 minutes. If I have to not train as hard or whatever it is, get me to that opening whistle and I will perform. The adrenaline will kick in. I will figure it out. I will not be injured. And by the way, I was injured a lot, but you didn't know it. And so, again, I'm not asking for a pat on the back. It's me telling some of these players, you just have to be available. You have to find a way.
Okay, so this is where we disagree on the unlucky part, because I don't think it's lucky or unlucky. There are moments, I remember, like, I was chasing a ball and I fell and I jammed my knee into the ground and had like a bone bruise that is like so painful. I couldn't walk, so I had to come out. But as far as like the muscle injuries, and this is happening, this was one of my questions for you. So many guys on this national team are injured a lot. Do you think about it? I mean, they're just not available all the time. And so I don't know if it's a modern football thing. I don't know. But one of the things that is not luck is how you take care of yourself. And again, I am not suggesting, because I'm not with these guys every day, but I used to spend, people don't know this. I didn't ever share this publicly. I used to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, Tim, on taking care of my body. Pilates, yoga, doing structural alignment, the way I eat, the way I did things. Hundreds of thousands of dollars out of my pocket to make sure that I was available. And I also took care of myself, right? Again, not looking for a pat on the back, but that is part of being a professional and being able to play at the highest level. And so I'm just wondering, when you get all these muscle injuries, also being aware of your body, right? Like what to do, how to train, how to, and so it's just happening a lot, man. It's a lot.
You make a good point. I was similar. I'm curious about some of these guys. I don't know a ton of them personally. I'm curious about them because I was the same way. I think, I oftentimes tell some of the younger players, and it falls on deaf ears, but like, invest in your business. What's your business? It's the Tim Howard something. Like I'm my own business. So I had a physio and a massage therapist and a chef, on retainer yearly, right? So like, yes, I can go to the club and get stuff, but 4 days a week at home before bed, I was getting a massage, I was getting physio, right? And I wasn't asking for the club to pay for it because it was my career and it was important to me to be available, because if I was available, I'd get all the things that I needed to get. So yeah, it's an interesting point.
I brought a chef with me to Everton, by the way, but that was mostly because the food in England is shit. Okay, moving on to Liga MX. Alejandro Zendejas scored twice for Club America. This is a guy that's like been under the radar, but he scored with the national team in the last camp, and he scored a phenomenal goal. If you haven't seen it, go watch. He receives a ball top of the box, a little bit shaded left, and I thought he's just going to take a touch and smash it, and he just dinks this little chip into the far post over there. It's so nasty. But he's starting to he's been playing well, but he's starting to show up, and he showed up for the national team in the last camp, and so don't be surprised if he gets called in too.
I think so. I mean, he's got some real talent in the forward areas. Certainly, we saw he has a nose for goal, but yeah, again, for me, completely under the radar. We'll see, as you mentioned, with this apparently from this point forward, it's going to be, what essentially the squad is meant to look like. So we'll see.
Yeah. And then the only guy hotter for the national team right now than him is Christian. And his assist on the weekend is so good. He receives the ball almost near midfield, like clips it around the corner, beats the guy gets the ball before he gets to the touchline or to the sideline, hurdles past the next guy, dribbles into the box, and then rolls a ball across the box to the far post, which was like, you don't even see it on TV because you're like, you don't even know there's someone arriving there. And then he scored a goal to boot, and he is just at the very tip top. And I just want to address something real quick. One of my friends texted me, and they're like, Landon, last week you were singing Christian's praises, and I thought you hated him, and I thought you wanted him. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's just fans and friends.
I know, but I'm like, I want this guy to succeed at the highest high. This is why I'm disappointed when some of the decisions he's made, but because he has this possibility, and I want to see that with the national team to take us. So like, I'm not going to say I'm his biggest fan because his friends and family and all that are. We all want him to succeed at that, and he is flying right now. So long may it continue.
Yeah, listen, we've said this all along. So tell you, what's your friend's name?
I can't tell him.
All right, well, tell him.
Just say Scott.
Tell him to listen to this episode and keep these receipts because we have a lot of receipts. We've only ever said Christian Pulisic is a brilliant player. Christian Pulisic actually told us in a rebuttal when he's on the pitch he scores, which we agree with. And he's in incredible form. Milan, top of the table in Serie A.
Yeah.
Life is good. That's great. It's an amazing thing for the team we all love, USMNT.
Let's keep it going. And then in October, let's see that too, and just keep that form because we need that all the way through.
Yep.
Okay, exciting. I'm excited about this. This has been off our radar, by the way. Under 20 World Cup is now underway. And I was just totally, until Andrew brought it up, I was like, what? So we're recording today, Monday. The U.S. plays tonight against a massive powerhouse, New Caledonia. If you don't know where that is, Tim didn't either. It's in the Pacific Ocean. But they get underway today. 16 of the players from this squad, 16 of the 21 are MLS rosters, which I thought was very interesting. And it never happened that way in the past, which is very good. A lot of whom, by the way, play very meaningful minutes for the club team, which is an interesting dynamic. And I want to ask your opinion on this. Around the world, U20 players who are playing for their club teams do not get called into the U20 World Cup. Lamine Yamal is not with Spain right now. No chance. No. So just this dynamic, will this ever shift? At what point will it shift where there are teams that are fighting for playoff spots with some of the players that are now gone for the U20, which is, by the way, I understand both sides. It's a huge opportunity for them. There's tons of scouts there. It's a huge opportunity. But will that ever shift where MLS clubs say,
It should. It should shift.
Not leaving. Yeah.
It should. To your point, I've been at clubs when we've had younger players and the club hasn't even like returned the email. They're like, what?
Under 20.
I'm jealous. I have to say I'm jealous because my under 20 World Cup was in 1999. And 1999 in Nigeria, right? The hotels were barely built. Stadiums were like, I don't know. We would get stuck in like elevators because the electricity just wasn't working, And like, I think I left for Nigeria, and my mom was like, all right, I'll see you when I get back. I think she might have gave me a calling card or something. Nobody was watching this. Certainly Unfiltered Soccer podcast wasn't covering it. So I'm a little bit jealous of these players, but we're going to give them some love.
No, it's going to be amazing.
What was your U20? New Zealand, right?
No, 17s was New Zealand. Argentina was my 20s.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I'll never forget. So it was in Mendoza, Argentina, which is like the west coast. It's the wine country right near Chile. And after we got eliminated, I went up. Oh, wait, was that? I think Mooch was our coach.
Might be.
No, maybe it was Wolfgang. No, it was Wolfgang Sunholtz.
Wolfie. I know Wolfie. He was my
I went up to, I think it was Wolfgang. I went up to his room and we sat and had a glass of wine after, which I don't know why, but it was just like, whatever.
Good dude, man.
Oh, by the way, on the way home.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. On the way home from Argentina on the flight, a bunch of us had way too much to drink, and we ate these empanadas in the airport before we got on.
Oh no!
And I woke up to like the flight attendant pulling me up to get up because I was passed out in the in the bulkhead on the ground.
Yeah.
And went straight to the bathroom and just puked all over. So disgusting.
People forget the U.S. youth soccer days when you're sitting in coach or economy.
You know the bulkhead. It was right before the bulkhead. So there were like 5 seats there, and I was just passed. There were like 4 of us, like laying on top, like dogs huddled on top.
I remember flying to different parts of Asia. You're in your khaki pants and red U.S. soccer polo, traveling to the airport with a backpack, 20-hour flight, and you're like, what?
Totally.
Yeah, good old days.
Okay, so we'll be watching that. U.S. again starts tonight. They play, I forget who's in. New Caledonia, then France. Wow, yep. And then South Africa.
It'll be good.
So
it's a good group.
It's going to be great. Okay, last thing here. So the expanded World Cup talks have resumed, and for people who don't know, Matt Hughes of The Guardian is reporting that FIFA is not planning to expand the 2030 tournament, but they are talking about going to a 64-team World Cup. And we can't speculate on what is going to happen or not, but what's your take? Should we do that or not?
No.
Why?
We shouldn't do it. There's too many teams.
Why? But why?
It's too many teams. I don't know.
That's not an answer. You can't just say there's too many teams.
It's my answer. Like what what purpose does it serve?
Don't you know that FIFA is trying to grow the game? That's their mission. They don't care about money. They're trying to grow the game.
I'm not being critical. I'm saying if there's money involved, maybe. I don't like it.
Okay, I love it.
You do?
Yeah. I cannot wait. This is going to sound so stupid. I cannot wait to see Uzbekistan and Jordan and hopefully some obscure CONCACAF team who's not Curacao or playing a World Cup. I think that's amazing.
It dilutes it, LD. It does.
Who cares?
You know that.
You don't root for Iona when they play Kentucky in the NCAA basketball tournament? Like, it's fun to watch. No?
A little bit. I mean, NCAA tournament, sure.
You just don't like change. That's why you don't want me to get a hairpiece.
I desperately want you to get a hairpiece. I don't mind change. I don't know. The World Cup is it's like special, and if everyone can get in, I don't know.
Okay, so I want somebody to give me a good reason why. Because even Victor, who I love, president of CONCACAF, fellow Canadian, Montagliani, said, the suggestion, quote, doesn't feel right and believes the expansion would damage, quote, the broader football ecosystem. Okay, but give me a real answer as to.
He just did. But
it's not a real answer. It doesn't
football ecosystem
right? What is that? What does that mean?
I feel the same as him. It doesn't feel right. I don't know. It's just I hear you. I think
it's better for the sport. Look, there's so many. The World Cup's been only won by how many countries? 6 or 7 or 8 or something.
So
let's expand it. I want more people to have the chance to be at the party.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're only going to be there for a day.
No, but that might help them grow. The money that comes into a country or a federation.
There's enough money in FIFA.
Give them money. No, they want to be part of a World Cup.
Man, you got to earn that. Listen, I will say this though. To your point, we'll probably get on this at some point.
They still have to earn it, by the way. Still have to qualify.
I do believe that the World Cup winner can only come from 6 countries. That's my belief.
Ever?
For the foreseeable future, yeah.
What are those 6?
So I think it's Brazil, Argentina, Spain, France, Germany, and then you're getting Italy, England, Italy/England. So that's 6,
Holland or Netherlands, maybe.
Really. Yeah. So I do for the foreseeable future. I think that's where which is kind of wild. I mean, not wild. They're the best teams, but
you can see a team you could see the next tier of teams getting on a run. Sure. But then to win 6 or 7 in a row, it's just.
But you see what I'm saying, right?
No, I know. I see what you're saying.
I think if someone were to say to me, if I could get a bet in Vegas that said you can put however much money on the fact that one of these teams is going to win, I win that bet.
Yeah,
100% win that bet.
Yeah, I don't know who else can win it.
Well,
not England.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Not England for sure. All right. let us take a break. When we come back, we will have some of this week's MLS action and the latest from the Premier League as well, right here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen.
The Unfiltered Soccer podcast is brought to you by Volkswagen, the presenting partner of U.S. Soccer.
As the U.S. gets ready to host the world for soccer's biggest moment, Volkswagen is helping people discover new turfs and new ways to play the beautiful game right here in the U.S.
From deaf and power wheelchair soccer to beach and futsal, VW is actively supporting all the communities and teams within the U.S. soccer ecosystem. They've signed U.S. soccer talent from across the portfolio of the Federation and will be helping to give these less popular forms of soccer a platform moving forward.
As a longtime friend of Volkswagen, I'm excited to support them in their mission to increase visibility of all forms of soccer. I was recently on set with them shooting their new campaign to do just that.
Keep an eye out for that launching soon, alongside the all-new redesigned 2025 Tiguan. It's a beautiful car. We've even had one with us at our recent live show. Make sure to check it out in person and learn more at VW.com. There's a certain energy to soccer in Latin America. The footwork, the creativity, the passion from fans. It's more than a sport. It's a rhythm. That same spirit shows up in Café Bustelo. Bold, vibrant, smooth. Turn up the Latin flavor Café Bustelo has been bringing for generations. You can't miss this iconic staple anywhere. From the bodega to your local grocery store, they are everywhere. And now there's even more to love. They released a whole new line of roasts to match every mood. Light roast, medium, dark, and dulce de leche. Each one with its own vibe. Available in pre-packed bags and K-Cup pods. Delicious hot or iced. However you take your coffee, Café Bustelo shows up strong. I like mine black, strong, every afternoon. Café Bustelo is more than coffee. It makes you feel alive. Try the new Café Bustelo roasts today.
All right, Timmy, this episode is brought to you by our friends at Virgin Atlantic.
Yeah, we're here at the Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse at JFK. Honestly, it makes you rethink what an airport lounge can be.
It's beautiful. It's what Virgin does. They've been bringing joy back to flying since day one.
It starts with the people. The crew makes you feel seen. You're not just seat 31A. And the planes, comfy seats, mood lighting, fresh new plane smell, and hours of the best entertainment.
Yeah, I know you travel back and forth across the pond all the time. The food's amazing, all the little amenities. They have their mile-high tea if you want tea at 35,000 feet. You can have the jam, the scones, the finger sandwiches, all the things that you loved about British times when you were playing.
Yeah, and speaking of the food, you can pre-order your meal before you fly. I'm not just talking about the chicken or the fish. I had the Thai curry last time, and it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, everything's been thought through. It's flying the way you wish it always was.
So if you're headed to the UK soon, do it in style. After the pod, go to virginatlantic.com to learn more about their amazing experience. All right, LD, time to chat some MLS. Hudson River Derby, New York City FC 3, the Metro Stars, otherwise known as the New York Red Bulls 2. Jurgen Klopp was in attendance.
Why?
Well, he's global director of global football ambassador to the Stars for Red Bull, isn't he? Red Bull football.
Let me ask you this. 2 days before he actually got on the flight to New York, had he ever heard of the New York Red Bulls?
Of course, he oversees global football.
No chance.
Yes, he does.
Zero. Yeah. Could he name one player?
Better question, because
you're not answering.
No, I'm not answering. But this is a better question than what you just asked me. 2 days before he got on the plane to go to New York to see Red Bull, had he ever heard of the Metro Stars?
No chance.
No chance.
Metro Donkeys. No chance.
He heard about that.
All right. Bad loss. Bad loss for Red Bull, by the way. They're 5 points back now of Chicago for the last playoff spot.
Yeah, it's tight.
So that aside, I think for us national team fans, the most concerning moment of the weekend was that Matt Freese came out with what we're assuming is a head injury. So that could absolutely impact his ability to get called into the next camp. I guess let's assume, Tim, right now that he does not get called in. Okay, let's knock on wood, hope he's okay. But for whatever reason, he's not called in. He's in concussion protocol, whatever. What happens? So who starts and who starts will start as. And let's say someone starts and plays amazing in both games. Now what? I'm just playing this out.
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know what the pecking order is for the U.S. men's national team. I have no idea. We've got two guys in the last camp
that have zero chance of
that. I don't know if they're national team caliber. That's a lie. I do know. And the two guys that I think are in the top three, hands down, Zach Steffen and Matt Turner, haven't been in. So it's a great question. I hope Matty Freeze, it's not too bad. But hypothetically speaking, I have no idea. Zero idea. I'm right in saying that, aren't I?
Yeah, no, I have no idea. I don't know. I was just thinking you've been in all these situations you've been in, and now what? And without speaking to Mauricio Pochettino and asking directly, we don't know if we have to assume right now he believes Matt Freeze is the guy, the guy. But now if he's not in a camp, what happens?
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing Matt Steffen, Matt Turner or Zach Steffen would play because you'd have to assume if there is no Matt Freeze and he happens to be the front runner, which again we think we're taking an educated guess at, then that would be the next option. But we don't know. Honestly, we don't know.
I guess we're gonna see. I have to say there's something I hate, and it's not Jurgen Klopp's fault. It's not. But I used to sit in press conferences. We would play Real Madrid in a friendly at the Rose Bowl, or Chelsea, or Barcelona, or Man United, or whatever. And inevitably, the reporter in the room in the press conference would say, "Hey, what do you guys think about soccer in America and MLS?" And they'd be like, "Oh, it's growing. It's getting better. It's growing." But they had no idea. I mean, they literally could not name any player, nothing. They knew nothing about soccer in America. They just doesn't. So Jurgen Klopp was asked about MLS. He said, "I'm 100% sure in 5 years' time, we will speak completely differently. The kids coming up, it's just all this general BI. I hate this. It's not his fault. Starting playing soccer earlier, training getting better, the place where you can play and training getting better. Everywhere, I can tell you the quality is really, really good. Good players, a lot of talent, high intensity. I think MLS has found its spot, and now let's work with it." I just get sick of people asking these guys questions because they don't know anything about soccer in America, and that's fine. It's not their fault. I don't care. But I'm just like, just stop.
It's a bit of lazy journalism as well. Totally. It's not on Jurgen Klopp. It's not on the coach at Real Madrid. It's this concept of you can phrase the question better. You can actually be more forthright and basically say, soccer in America is on the up and up, and you can phrase, as opposed to just this softball question of what do you think? Because you're going to get that answer every time.
Yeah, and it's just why do we care so much what they think about? So
That's the other part. That's the other part.
Yeah, we're trying our best, man. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay, so old school MLS rivalry, not the hell is real that Columbus is probably more interested in. But Chicago Fire 2, Columbus Crew 0. Crew are now 8th in the East. They've kind of been a under talked about disappointment this year because they've just expectation wise, Crew have been so good, and Wilfred Nancy has been so good. They've had a lot of injuries, but it's been, I think, disappointing. But I think that's looking like it's going to be a preview of that play-in game, Chicago Columbus. So that'll be interesting. Bigger news, big picture. Chicago Fire just got city council approval to build a new 22,000-seat ownership-funded stadium in the city. And it's in this, whatever this new development area is called. Have you seen
I've seen the renderings. I've seen renderings. It looks beautiful. Really, really awesome. I mean, I hate having been a part of a franchise in Memphis, again, USL, that was trying to get a stadium built. We failed miserably at trying to get a stadium built. Not our fault. And I know how difficult it is. And so sometimes by hook or by crook, if you can get approval, you'll do it. But this concept that and I'm sure it was well-intentioned, but to build that stadium out in Bridgeview, what was it called? I don't even know who the sponsor is now.
It was Toyota at one point.
At one point, you build it in Bridgeview, which is in the middle of nowhere. It takes 8 hours to get to from downtown. And then there's no training facility. So they built a field in the parking lot. I trained on that field. You might have trained on that field too. Yeah. And you're just this was never going to work. And I'm being critical of people who got a stadium built, which that's amazing. But Chicago is such a town, such a sports town. Mm-hmm. The Chicago Fire, again, from its inception in 1998 under Bob Bradley, some deep roots, incredible success. Like, they need that back. And this is pretty cool if it's downtown.
So playoff picture of Chicago are a game back now, 2 points back. So they could host that playing game. And in the past, Tim, that would be like, okay, you don't have to travel. You got a little home field advantage. Now it's actually like real money too to fill up the stadium and have a game, a playoff game. So we'll see how that plays out. Your Dynamo went down to Nashville 3-1. Tough place to play. Yeah, it's a tough place to play.
Tough place to play for sure. Not a great game.
Yeah, not great. And Houston on the outside looking in, right, I believe right now. So let's hope they can get over the hump. Current Supporters Shield standings. Philly on top, Cincy 4 points back, San Diego 2 points back of that, along with Vancouver, and then NYCFC.
It's going to be so tight.
And Miami. Miami have at least a game in hand. They have a game in hand on Vancouver and 2 in hand on the other, so they could make a climb, but it'll be fun to watch.
I said it to you the other day. Like, this is going to go. I have a feeling the Sports Shield is going to go down to the last day, and like,
that's great.
And like, that's the hope for MLS, right? Is that there's like, you have 3 different cities where it's just like they're hanging on for dear life. You know what I mean? Like, one game finishes, and then everyone's like on the phone, and they put it up in the stadium because the other one's in injury time or something. So hopefully that's how it happens.
Yeah. Philly, I think, avenged that 7-0 defeat to Vancouver with a 6-0 throttling of DC. I sent in the group text. New DC coach is getting off to a flying start.
Demoralizing, man.
That poor guy, man. He has no idea what he walked into. Just an absolute disaster for DC. Great for the Union, though, and again, they are looking down on everyone else, so it's theirs to lose at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Late game, San Diego, a bunch of my friends went to this actually, lost at home to San Jose. And just, obviously I paid close attention to San Diego. They're a team that's going to struggle, I think, in the playoffs, and I'll tell you why. They're playing a lot of young kids, particularly in the back, which is great and great for development. And I think that is sort of their ethos and what they want to do and develop players and whatever. But when you get to real games at this time of the year, I mean, San Jose was just more experienced, especially their attacking players. And San Diego deserves something out of the game for sure. But these games are hard, man, and you just need players to make special plays. So they need Chucky Lozano to make plays, Dreyer to make plays, but I think they could struggle a little bit in the playoffs.
You make such an interesting point, because I think sometimes people forget, like, you watch a game in the middle of the season, it's like, yeah, okay, let's have some really good plays. But when it comes down to October, November playoff time, it's like every second matters, every play matters, your bigger play. And so sometimes that's lost on the youth. It's like they don't have those experiences to draw from. So in the big moments, and it's fine margins, right? And they don't have not to say that I'm not in favor of playing young players, because I really am. But at these moments,
but if you have
definitely need experience.
So like San Jose is a great example. My first year, I was the only young kid. Yeah. And it was all veterans, like real guys who had played in real games throughout. So it was fine. And I was an attacking player. So I wasn't as reliable, but like starting a center back, an 18 or 19-year-old center back or left back. I mean, it's going to be tough playoff time.
Part's hard.
Seattle, Vancouver drew 2-2. Big story here. Brian White back. 2 goals in his first 2 games back from an injury. So my question for you is, does he get called in?
Well, yeah, let's see. Brian White
is out now.
Yeah, Brian White Pepe's out. He's a player. When I saw him play live in Houston about a month or 2 ago, his movement was good. It was exceptional. I just thought I see what the hype is about with him, but that has to then translate to the international stage, and it doesn't always. It doesn't make you a bad striker. It doesn't always translate just because the window's open and shut quicker. Do I think he can do it? Possibly. Do I think he'll get called in? Yeah, I think the coaching staff and Pochettino and his staff will be looking at that, because he scores goals, right? And so I think you need to be given opportunities, particularly if you're scoring goals and doing really well in your domestic league. Yeah, you deserve an opportunity.
Yeah, I think he's not a guy we're going to rely on big picture for the national team, I don't think. But like, give him credit, man. He's put together a few phenomenal seasons and deserves it. So,
all right, LD, it's time for the Unfiltered Refresh, sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Get Coors Light delivered. Go to CoorsLight.com/USLNT. All right, who chose chill from this past weekend in MLS? Give me. This is going to be hard for you. I think I know your answer, and this might be slightly difficult.
It does pain me, but it's not just this weekend, dude. These two are unbelievable. Yeah. Son and Bouanga for LAFC. Listen to this stat. This is crazy. They have combined to score LAFC's last 17 goals.
Jesus.
Just think about that for a minute. The previous record was 15, and that was this season, by the way. Sam Surridge and Mukhtar from Nashville, which is wild. 17. If you are an opposing team, don't you think at some point you'd say, just get around those two and make someone else beat us, right? But those two are. I remember when Son went there, I texted someone who played against them recently in MLS, and I said, "How is Son in person?" And he was like, "Dude, he is so good." And I was just like, imagine now you have to deal with Son and Bouanga coming at you. It's crazy.
You know what? You know what Son is to me? He's the perfect MLS DP because he's got a lot left in the tank. You know he's committed. He understands the weight of his country and who he is to them. And by the way, silky smooth, can still glide past. Like he's literally
and he puts butts in seats. It's perfect. He's literally the perfect
MLS DP.
Every stadium you see just Korean contingent everywhere. Dude, and he's been the perfect MVP. So I hate to say it, you're right, but those two choosing chill lately. So cheers to you two.
Cheers,
sadly for choosing chill. Okay, let's move on to the Premier League. Man, there are some tasty games this weekend. Nothing more tasty than Palace Liverpool. So we talked about Liverpool continuing to win late, right? And this time they got beat late, right? Just give us your thoughts on the game as you watched, and we'll get into the Mo Salah handball and the controversy and all that.
Well, Liverpool's so interesting because of all the late goals and late winners, 4 or 5 of them coming after 83rd minute or something. Like there's something special in that, right? Like there's something where you say like this team is resilient, they're experienced, they're willing. Slot said they're willing to run longer and harder, which is why they're getting those goals late. Which I agree with all of that. The other side of that, which I had heard it, but I didn't really give it too much credit, which maybe is starting to come back, is people were saying, the critical people about Liverpool were saying, yeah, but that just means they're not playing particularly good because they're having to like barely hang on and barely get results. So I take that on board, which is, and then it happened again, right? So they have to come from behind, they draw late on, and then Palace get the winner. So then you can make the argument they're actually not playing particularly well as champions. So I tend to think it's good that they're scoring late goals because I do believe in that theory of the resiliency and being able to be stronger and fitter than everyone else. But the fact of the matter is, for me, it's glass half full with Liverpool because they're the champions. They've added some real talent to the squad that they're trying to, Ekitike, Wirtz, Isak. They've added some big talent in major areas, and those guys haven't hit the ground running. They're having to figure out how to fit into the system and how to fit into the Premier League. Not Isak, but the other guys fit into the Premier League. So I'm actually going, well, hang on. They're 2 points clear at the top of the table. They're not really playing particularly well. So that's actually a good thing, isn't it? Because they're going to get better. So we'll see. But I think it's good for the Premier League in terms of the balance at the top.
This is just a side note, which is a crazy side note. Palace are now unbeaten in 18 games, which is insane. 18 games unbeaten.
I mean, that's going back to last season. And Palace do everything quietly, and I think that's actually a compliment.
Big time.
But they're on an incredible run.
You mentioned Ekitike, so the reason he wasn't available because he got sent off in the Carabao Cup for a game winner against Southampton, and he was celebrating like he just won the World Cup. Took his shirt off. He was already on a booking, so he took his shirt off and got sent off. It should this rule still be around? This shirt? I mean, I don't know why they. I don't know what the impetus was to make this a yellow card. I mean,
stupid.
It is, right?
Well, the thing about it is the did we not address this last week? I thought, well, we talked about it, but we didn't talk about it on the show. It's stupid. If someone made the rule, and what was the reason behind it? I don't know. Look, if you...
Oh, you know what? Was it because people were having like undershirts slogans, with like messages and... Right,
sure,
okay,
sure.
So just make that the rule. Like you can't have anything.
My point is, if you have... If you're wearing red or blue and your undershirt is red or blue, or you're just bare chested, it's fine. If you throw your shirt up in the air, your teammate can go get it. It's fine. If you have a slogan, or if you take your shirt and you throw it in the stands, sure, you get yellow carded. But to take do you know how many other stupid celebrations I see every weekend?
That's so true.
You know what I mean?
It's so true.
Like what? It's dumb. Change the rule. Change the rule.
But Ekitike has to how dumb can you
that
be
I
in
agree
that
with.
moment?
That I agree.
mean,
If the rule's in place,
God, what are you doing? It is so embarrassing every time you see this. Yeah. Take off their shirt, and the ref goes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yellow card, red card, and you just go,
imagine getting sent off. What'd you get sent off for? Tough guy? Oh, I took my shirt.
So dumb. The Mo Salah handball. Just what's your take on it? Is it a handball? Is it not? What do you think?
Well, I thought it was a handball, but and we looked at it 18 trillion times and loads of replays and zoomed in, and VAR showed us some angles, and we at NBC had angles. It's still not like, if you're asking me if what I saw, it barely nicked his hand, I say yes, but I don't know if it's like overly conclusive, because you know what I mean? Because the more you zoom in, it gets a bit grainy. So I think it did, but whatever. I mean, in the end, it didn't matter, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's just that it's obviously created a lot of controversy, and he's also kind of getting pulled, so his hands kind of. Yeah. But when you just look at it in real time, you're like, why is his hand up there? You can't put your hand up there, because So, all right, well, whatever. Is what it is. Okay, Brentford at home battered United 3-1.
Boy.
This is the simple question. I mean, is it time? What do they do with Amorim? Is it time? Tim, I've been of the opinion, like, give him time. He needs, give him a transfer window, give him two. But this is not looking good, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think so go back, right? 3-1. Brentford played really well. They deserve the 3-1 win. That's not a flattering scoreline.
No.
And then you go back to last week, and it was Chelsea, right? And so you're like, if Chelsea doesn't get a man sent off,
they're up a man after 5 minutes.
Yeah, if Chelsea doesn't get a man sent off, you're like,
and they almost lost. They still almost found a way to draw.
Right. I don't know if United wins that game, right? So like, there was just like sigh of relief. But like I think Chelsea ended up probably beating them on the day, right? Which again shows us kind of where they are, and then Brentford. Look, I said on Saturday, silly me, before the game, that United had, like, in their next 10 games, again, silly me, I was looking at it trying to find a silver lining. So in their next 10 games, I was like, there's like 8 games. I see 8 wins in there. This being one of them. No, I know.
Wins?
Hear me out. I know, but I
haven't won 8 wins in 2 years.
I know, but I'm trying. I'm like, they could do it. They can go on a run, because a run has to start somewhere. And man, no, I don't think you sack him. I know. I'm call me crazy. I think you have to. And there's been some dark days for Manchester United over the last 11 years, or 10 years since Alex Ferguson retired. But like, I think you got to continue to ride it. I know it sounds crazy, but like, what are you going to do? This is what. Sorry, LD. So by default, this is what they've done since Sir Alex Ferguson.
No, I know.
Came and went. They pick a manager, they get the players, they get a new director of football, and then they rip it up, and then they go again and again, and they do an experienced manager, and then a young manager, and an experienced manager. Yeah, like, what are you going to do? So let's fire him today, and then what? Let's go then get who? Because by the way, he was staunch that this is his system. He ain't changing. Go give me the players to fit. So you know what he did? They went and got the players to fit this system. A 9, 2 10s underneath. The width comes from the fullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. I still think, stay with it, they need 2 6s. They need a goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
They need at least 1 or 2 center backs.
Yeah.
And we don't know if Šeško is a real deal. So we have to wait. So so I still think you're 5 players away from getting this thing right.
It's at least one more window, yeah.
Right. Well, at least there'll be 2 more windows, right? So, but my point in all that, and I say it every week, well, I don't say it every week, when a manager is on the verge of getting sacked or he's in the hot seat, I always say, in order to not get sacked, you don't have to be amazing. You just can't be this crap.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Like
it is true.
Like Man United don't have to do anything extraordinary. They do have to be Brentford. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of, and if you don't do that, then everything I'm saying is like, well, yeah, the ownership's going to have a look at this.
That was for those who follow football, American football. That was the Miami Dolphins on Thursday night. It was like there was all this talk about do they fire what's his name? I forget a coach's name. Mike McDaniel.
McDaniels.
Mike McDaniels. Do they fire him? Do they Do they not? Mike McDaniel. And they played pretty well against, I think it's Buffalo. And so like, okay, they just weren't crap. They were competitive. Right. So like at this point, pick up a few points here and there, win a few games. Just don't be, you just can't keep going like this. You can't. All right, Newcastle, Arsenal. Arsenal this time came from behind. Really, I thought gritty, gutsy win by Arsenal. Not an easy place to play, as you know, and big time win for them.
Amazing,
especially with Liverpool dropping all the points.
Yeah, they had to. I mean, the pressure was shifted onto Arsenal because it's like, you know, not only are they trying to keep pace, they're trying to claw back some points, and Arsenal lose. So then Liverpool lose. So you're like, well, Arsenal have to win. They go a goal behind, and then, you know, it was a good game of football. I have to say, really good game of football. Arsenal had some good chances. Nick Pope, the goalkeeper, played really well at the beginning of the game, and in the first half made a ton of saves. But Arsenal, you know, they keep going. They're one of those teams that, like, they're willing to take risk at the end of games. They don't take a ton of risk all game, which has been a criticism, but they certainly got some timely contributions. They're really deep, really, really deep, and they're fit. And that's something that Mikel Arteta hasn't had. He's had small squads up until recently. So this is also a learning curve for him and for Arsenal.
I love watching games at St. James's Park. Like, every time you watch a game there, it's entertaining because it just feels
one of the greatest.
Every time they pan to the crowd, you're like, oh, it looks amazing.
It's my favorite stadium to play, like outside of like Goodison at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Newcastle, Man United, the best place to play.
Last thing on that game. So with Arsenal set pieces and corners, can you just walk people through? I love this about England because I hate it in MLS or wherever I was playing. A corner kick and you kind of crowd the goalkeeper to make it hard. And like, if you nick the goalkeeper or touch the goalkeeper at all, the ref would always blow the whistle and give a foul. And I'd be like, come on, man. Like, but in England, they don't care. Like you can treat them just basically like any other player, and they're not going to blow the whistle. So as a goalkeeper, how do you handle that? Like, you're getting crowded bunch, and you know the referee's not giving, you know, you can't just like embellish something and get a call. How do you handle that? What's the
as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, what's the counter to that?
Well, I think as a
just pray.
I think as a goalkeeper, you have to be really super strong. You have to be throwing people out of the way. You've got to redeflate the ball and not get. It's hard, but try and not get caught up in the mix, because, you know, there's a ton of players in there. The referees let it play. But the other part of that is if you are going to be strong, you have to be physical and sometimes get fouled and alert the referee to it. I mean, I think about the Arsenal set pieces, and I always remember David Moyes saying this, and I chuckle, but it's true. We would, like, if we were always resilient at Everton, as you know, and on Fridays, for those of you who don't know, he'd basically name the team on a Friday. He'd tell Jimmy, because it'd be chucking down rain, say, Jimmy, go get the big coats, which basically meant we were going to stand around the 18-yard box with our coats on doing set pieces in the driving down freezing rain. But he would always say to us, when he was really upset, he'd say, it's one ball. So you're conceding goals from a corner. It's one ball. Go head the freaking thing. And when I look at Arsenal, like, the thing about Arsenal, they've become so good at set pieces that they end up seeing. So what their set piece coach does is they study Newcastle This is how Newcastle sets up, right? And then we're going to do our blocks, get our runs, do all the things. What you need to do, and this is an evolution, what teams need to now do, because everyone's so afraid, right, Landon? So at the Galaxy, at the national team, at Everton, basically we go, this is how we defend set pieces. That's it. This is it. We put people in these positions, that's it. So you're giving Arsenal the advantage. The week of the Arsenal game, you need to counter the counter and basically go, we ain't defend. They're going to watch all week and they're going to pin us and block us because they think this is how we're defending. We ain't defending that way this week. We're changing our system. So you have to counter. And the other thing about Arsenal set pieces, which blows my mind, they have amazing delivery. So oftentimes from Saka or Rice, they're only aiming for one person. It's only ever Gabriel. That's it. Everyone else is a vehicle to block. Now, every now and again, Saliba gets free. I'm not saying you don't have to mark, you have to mark. But this whole concept of like Gabriel, yes, he's good and the delivery's good, but find out where he is, block him off, and go ahead the thing. And I love Dan Burn, but if you look at the goal they concede, and the guys are tired. Jesus Christ, they're tired. But in the end, Dan Burn, who's 6'11", he doesn't get off the ground, right? So he's tracking him, he's pulling him, he's holding, he's doing all the right things. And at the moment of impact, he doesn't jump. So conceptually, this is simple, but they're really good at it.
Well said. All right, let's take a break. When we get back, we will get into your questions in the AT&T Fan Connection right here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. We'll be right back. All right, Timmy, I want to tell you about a time I had to choose a much chiller path. 2009 in Seattle, we're playing Real Salt Lake in the MLS Cup final. We go to penalties. Who misses a penalty? This guy.
You.
Got back on the bus. I was crying in the back of the bus. And I had this moment where I had a realization that, yes, I missed the penalty. Yes, we lost chance at winning an MLS Cup final. But I said, you know what? Like, I did everything I could have. I tried my hardest, and it didn't work out. And when you embrace that chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill. And as always, crack open a Coors Light.
Make the most of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/USLNT. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer. There's nothing better than feeling like someone has your back and that things are going to get done without you even having to ask.
Like fans who start to sing and chant at the exact moment their team needs to rally.
A coach who can change strategies at halftime to help their team win.
A keeper you know is defending your goal.
Or a forward who is always ready to receive the ball.
At Unfiltered Soccer, Tim and I know all too well how important it is to be sure someone out there has your back. And that's precisely why AT&T has a new guarantee.
The AT&T guarantee is all about having your back. When you're with AT&T, if there's a network interruption, they'll proactively make it right with a credit for a full day of service, guaranteed.
Visit att.com/guarantee to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more, caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
It's time for the Fan Connection presented by AT&T. Every week we invite you, the listener, to connect with us by submitting your questions. The best way to grow the game of soccer in the U.S. is to keep asking questions and keep talking about the sport we all love. At AT&T, connecting changes everything. And on USLNT, our connections with you will help grow the game. Welcome into the AT&T Fan Connection, where we take your questions and comments and we respond, mostly in a good way. Jordan, how are you? This is your time to shine. Welcome. Why are you wearing a Liverpool jersey? For what purpose?
Because I support my club even if they don't win.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Oh, nice. Nice one. Okay.
Yep.
Where were you watching the game this weekend?
I was home.
What did you say the moment Eddie Nketiah chest it down, left foot volley, bang,
bang?
What did you say?
I don't think I can say what I said on this podcast, but
no, you can. We're unfiltered.
A really good friend of mine who became a Liverpool fan as a way to like, you know, sometimes people need a team in order to like get into a sport that they don't know. And he's been trying to convince me to become a Bills fan because I don't know anything about American football. And so he was watching and he texted me and he was like, what the actual fuck? And I was like,
Wow. No, but you did him a disservice. You should have made him an Everton fan so he can suffer. The
suffering is not necessary, guys.
It is.
It's not.
It is. You became a Liverpool fan. And guess what? Everything's nice and comfy and cozy. We spend lots of money. We win. Blah, blah. No, you spent money in the Brendan Rodgers era. Tell the people, you spent money. You spent a fortune on Andy Carroll. The money was spent. You just stunk. You beat me.
And sometimes that's true. Sometimes you spend a whole lot of, you guys were just talking about Manchester United. Sometimes you have a lot of money and you still suck. And so, you know, why make things harder than they need to be? I also think that if you have a friend who already has a club, like assuming their club so that you can build like a group of people who really love a club is fun.
I know. I'm just mad because even those terrible Liverpool teams put a whooping on me. So that's just how.
I'm sorry, Tim.
That's all right. Let's jump in.
Let's talk about some questions.
Yes.
These are kind of interesting questions. They're a little different than some of the questions we've had in the past. So this first one is directed at Landon, but I think you can both answer this question because it is about jerseys. This question is from Todd via YouTube. Landon, when you were in the Premier League, how many jerseys would you use in a season? And maybe speak a bit about the equipment side that soccer fans don't see. I see some players sign jerseys, they go for thousands of dollars, but other times a player will just give one to a fan. Do you have a set number of jerseys from the team, or like how does that work?
Well, first of all, mine did not go for thousands of dollars. If you check eBay, it's like $29.99 max. I do not have. I don't have the perfect answer because it always depended on the equipment manager or the kit man, as they say. So, like, I used to have one in San Jose. We called him Monty. This guy was the cheapest dude you've ever met. So I'd be like, Monty, it's my best friend. I've known him since I was 15. Kyle Beckerman. Can I trade today? You go, no, mate, no chance, no chance. I go, just wonder. I'll buy it myself. You go, no.
Yeah.
And so like some equipment managers are so hell bent on keeping every jersey. And so it used to be a budget thing in MLS, which is crazy to say, but literally that was like $100 coming out of the budget. Yeah. And then in LA, Raul Vargas, the man, the absolute legend, has been there since day one in LA. Literally anything I needed, he'd be like, what do you need? Give it to me. So how many would I go through in a season? I assume, like, you don't take the jersey home and wash it and bring it back. So I'm assuming, you know, pretty much the number of games, but I would always get a new jersey at halftime too. I would change my jersey at halftime too. And I don't know if everyone does that.
Yeah. No, so I'm the same. So in the Premier League, we were getting, you get 2 shirts a game, right? I would always change at halftime as well, LD. So first half shirt, put it in the bin, take the second half shirt. So I'd always wear 2. And then I wouldn't keep my jersey after the game unless there was like some sort of significance, or if I played well and kept a clean sheet. I don't even know. Like I would trade a lot. I would oftentimes trade jerseys. So if I traded a jersey, then obviously one of the 2 comes out and has to be replaced. But if there was any significance on the game for whatever reason, if we beat a big 6 team, you know, Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, something like that, the Derby games I kept, yeah. I mean, for me,
but you would get Tim. They would say you can have 2 every game.
Yeah,
you're allowed to keep these 2.
You wouldn't take 2, but you could definitely take 1 for sure every game. Right. And then my gloves.
Gloves. I didn't even think about that.
I use a new pair of gloves every game, unless I was like on a roll, and if I kept a clean sheet the week before, and I was like, but I probably went through, God, how many games this season? 40, 50 games. I probably went through 150 pairs of gloves with training and games.
Wait, would you would open the brand new pair for game day?
No.
Or would you break them in?
I'd break them in for 2 days. Yeah,
but you wouldn't want to keep them broken in like a baseball glove. You need to break in, like,
no, because I could get them. I could get them perfect in 2 days. Yeah, and then boots. I try. I tried to keep my boots. Now, we're both Nike guys, so your supplier will come out with new colors, and so I don't even know what the cadence is, every 6 weeks or every 8 weeks. So I would try and stay with my boots as long as I could.
Yeah.
But when they bring out a new color, contractually you have to wear it. But yeah,
that was
boots.
worst.
I didn't go through a lot.
I'm thinking you guys made fun of me the last time I asked follow-up questions, so I won't be doing that anymore.
Do
So
it.
I'm
Do
moving
it.
on in
We're gonna
my.
make fun
of you.
This question is from Kimmy via email, and she said, "As an outsider to the game, I always thought that if a goal was scored, it was the goalie's fault, as it is their job to block shots.
Right.
And logically, it seems that if the ball goes in, they didn't block the shot."
That's right.
I'm following you, Kimmy. So far, we're on the same page. I am learning, however, that it is not always the goalie's fault.
No, it is.
Can you explain to someone who never played why this would be the case? It seems like a silly question, I know, but I struggle to understand, for example, how a field player may have done something incorrect that eventually led to a goal, and there is nothing a goalie could have even done to try to save it. I will just say one thing. I feel like we talked about this recently with something that happened with the U.S. men's national team. Like, why is Tim Ream passing the ball to the goalie kind of thing? So, Kimmy, maybe go back and listen to one of those episodes of the show too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there's millions of people who agree with Kimmy, and they're in my they're in my direct message.
Say hundreds of millions.
Yeah, you're shy. I think. Yeah. I mean, I think what I would say about as you begin to grow in the game, and Landon and I are analysts, and we understand the game, and a lot of people do it at a high level. You begin to realize that goals come from compound errors. So every now and again, a guy's going to pick up a ball and go bang, and you're like, well, we can't really add any errors up. That just happened. But if you start to look at Tim Ream was a perfect example, right? The Tim Ream goal, and Landon and I talked about this. Not just Tim Ream and Matt Freese, but if you go into a weekend and watch soccer, you could rewind the tape probably 20 or 30 seconds and go, that guy missed that. That guy should have made a better decision. Bang, goal. And maybe the goalkeeper's involved in that. And so the majority of goals get scored based on compound errors throughout the team. So, but yeah, that's the goal. That's why the goalkeepers have the responsibility and do what they do. That their job is to save the ball ultimately. So,
yeah, and that's, I mean, because you were so good at it is why you're on the #1 soccer podcast in this country, and other guys aren't, right? But you can almost assign. By the way, I've been asked pretty much every question in the world. I've never been asked that question. Well, I've never heard that question asked. It's a phenomenal question, Kimmy. You could almost assign a percentage-ish of blame, which would be, I think, accurate, because in a lot of cases, like the Tim Ream one we can use as an example, the first pass back to him, you got to put a lot of blame on Tim Ream, but in that moment, then his decision-making, Matt Freese's decision-making should be better. And then when the guy picks up the ball, there's not any real blame in that because the guy bangs it into the far post. But like, you know, you can, in some instances you say the goalie absolutely should have saved that. In some instances you say 0.0 chance, and usually it's somewhere in between. Yeah,
and you make a really good point, just to put a bow on it. If you just get someone wallops the ball, if Landon picks up the ball against me and he just smashes it and I have no chance, there's no blame. But if there's a decision to be made, like in the Matt Freese case, if there's a decision to be made, if someone stitches me up, I'm in control of my decision making. Don't always get it right, and I might fail and make the wrong decision. But no matter what happens in front of me, I'm in control of my own decision making, right? So if someone gives me a horrible hospital ball back to me, right, I can say, well, you're dumb, you shouldn't play me that ball. But I'm in control of whether I try and control it, bring it down, pass it, or just lump it into the stands. So if that ball goes in the back of the net, yeah, I can go back to the compound errors of like, well, he shouldn't have done this and he shouldn't have done that. But ultimately, the last final decision rests with the goalkeeper.
No, not going to do that anymore.
No,
okay.
No follow-up. There are no dumb questions except follow-up questions.
From Jordan.
Okay, so this is it. I'm only asking you one more question. I've had it with the two of you. Josh via email says, and I think this is a lovely question, how are you guys feeling? You guys both have had long careers at the highest level. Are you hurting or are you feeling okay? And how much is fitness important to you now? After a lifetime of having to stay at your maximum fitness, which I feel like, Landon, you just talked about some of that. Does that become ingrained or are you just done with it?
Such a great question.
Thank you for caring about us. There's
Thank
so many
you,
people.
Josh.
There are so many people who don't care about us in the soccer world. We get criticized all the time. We get yelled at by soccer parents.
Yeah.
There's so many things that happen, but thank you for caring. Landon?
Man, it's not just an age thing. It's just miles on your body too. And sometimes when I'm still look like I'm physically in decent shape. And so some people will be like, oh, why don't you do this? Or and I'm like, you have no idea how much it hurts. Like if I went and ran a mile today, just my whole body, but especially like knees and things like, oh, it just aches. And that's just a cumulative, your body just being worn down and worn out. What's interesting for me is, and it's a little different for Tim, but he was getting a workout, right? Like an aerobic workout too. But I was doing that an hour and a half every day for like 25 years. And when you stop that, and especially someone who's deals with depression and like that is a huge piece of not feeling depressed is working out and having endorphins and getting your body going. And so when you don't have that built in for your schedule, it becomes difficult, right? And my wife always knows, she's like, you need to work out. Like, oh, shoot, I need to work out, because that part was just natural and a given. And now it's such a pain to like go work out, and like it's so boring and annoying, but it does suck to not have that built into your everyday life anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a, the running part. So like I tell people all the time, like, so I stay fit. It's something that I love. I love to be fit. I have control over it. I work out every day. The running part, like, so I couldn't run a mile without something either like popping or tearing, right? and because my muscle fibers are so broken down that literally I can go, and then by the end of it, I can feel my calf doing this, and I'm like, that's gonna go.
That's amazing.
So I can do bike and ski erg, and I can do tons of aerobic activity. I just can't run. That pounding, my body is too broken down. And the other thing, LD, which I found really interesting, because I've had like 2 muscle tears from doing, one was playing like flag football, like with my kids, and one was playing soccer. Just like I jumped into like an adult league for 1 game, and that was
stupid.
It.
Yeah.
Right. But what I realized is any controlled movement that my body, like if it's like a deadlift or a squat or any sort of like movement that I know my body, I'm telling my body to do, there's no problem. The second I get into a reactionary situation, playing basketball, whatever it is, and I have to change direction, bang, it's immediate. Like within 20 minutes, my muscles fatigue, and I feel something pop. It's crazy. So I have to be in control of all the movements.
So in short, we feel like crap.
We're old.
Yeah.
It was worth every second.
Amen.
Landon, now that I have heard the two of you say this, I'm wondering if I should maybe side with you on the question of how many of the Lady Vols are going to score on Tim in this penalty shootout. Because
here's the thing, though.
It's 4 yards.
Here's the thing.
I'm in control. I know if I'm going left or right.
And like, there's a reason why he's the best ever. Like the competitive. But when I golf with people or do things, they're like, God, how do you like do that? Or how did you make that putter? I'm like, dude, you just either have that or you don't. And he's got it. So my money's on Tim.
Landon. Lady Vols, listen up.
Listen up, Vols.
I'm coming for you. You know when I'll be there. I'm gonna release the date, but you better be sharpening those tools. Are you gonna come, Lynn? Are you gonna come to Knoxville?
I would love to. When is it?
It's, I want to say,
Did you say Nashville or Knoxville?
Knoxville.
I've never been to Knoxville.
You'll love it.
I know. I want to go around a
Great Smoky
Mountains
game. Man.
Let me check the schedule. I think it's going to be a Thursday, like the 23rd. Let me check the women's soccer schedule and the football schedule, because we'll get you to a game.
Let's go. Would love that.
All right. Landon Donovan at the Lady Vols Tim Howard penalty shootout. Wow.
I just like this because it means that Landon's going to come back and tell us what really happened.
Yeah, I mean, Tim will try to. No, you'll edit the video.
So. I won't edit the video. I won't edit the video. I'm here for it.
Guys, I will give you the real behind the scenes.
You'll see it all. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, JR.
Guys.
All right, Tim. Another great episode. Thank you all for being with us. Go USA tonight against the powerhouse New Caledonia. Remember, as always, subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere else you get your pods, and follow across all social media at Unfiltered Soccer for all the bonus content.
Thanks, everybody. Another amazing episode, LD. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, VW. our Fan Connection sponsor, AT&T, our Unfiltered Refresh sponsor, Coors Light, and our additional sponsors, Cafe Bustelo and Virgin Atlantic. Have an amazing week. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another edition of Unfiltered Soccer.